Hey guys, welcome to the full-length episode of the Your Weird Vodcast. Now, I'm coming to you today from a studio just in my hometown of Seaford. So it's kind of like put together habdash. I've got a drum kit to my right, I've got like microphones to my left, and we haven't had a lot of light to work with. I've brought in 2 ring lights and we've got a lamp. So we've kind of put this together in a kind of guerrilla style, which is really fun. It's really exciting. And I had to do it like this because where I was trying to do it, I didn't have any lighting, and also it was really loud in terms of birds, just living in the suburbs, you know? Birds in the burbs, that's what was happening. But we did it. We've got the lights, and this is what it's all about. You got to try and find a way to make things happen. Now, it's not ideally perfect the way that I wanted it, but then now that we've worked on this, and I've got this lighting this way, I'm actually really excited. And that's what I want to inspire you to do. Find a way to make it work. Best case scenario. What can go wrong? Anyway, today's episode is a spotlight on a weirdo episode. So you may have listened to the audio podcast version of it, but obviously this is going to be the video version. And I'm interviewing a dear friend of mine. Her name is Emma Gough. She is an actor and she's a director, and she's the founder and CEO of the Melbourne Actors Guild, which is, in the name, it's in Melbourne. It's an actors guild. It's just this club where actors can come, we can train, test and restore. So I've been a part of this group since its very beginning, like its conception, and I've watched it grow into this beautiful place where all of these like-minded artists have been coming together to make and create and sort of bounce ideas off of each other. It's been really interesting and really fun. And so I met Emma Gough when I did her monologue class via Zoom in 2020. And from there, we just became the best of friends. I really liked the way that she taught me as an actor to get into character and how to feel it and how to have empathy for the character I was trying to portray. Now, I wanted to interview her and bring her story to you because the story of how she's gotten to where she is today is really interesting. So she's always been a creative at heart, and she's never sort of given up on her ideas regardless of what's happened around her. And at such a young age, she's done a lot of really interesting and incredible stuff, which, you know, when in a time when, you know, a lot of women can sort of be put down and you know, not sort of like pumped up to go up to their highest level, or when you're at such a young age and you can find a lot of ageism, I find it really admirable how much she's actually managed to achieve and what she's still achieving. She's an incredible powerhouse of a woman. When we're together, we are literally, it's like we've just had 8 cups of sugar together, and she's so much fun. So I'm really excited to bring this episode to you today. Please do let me know what you think, and remember to stay weird because being normal is really boring.
We are now recording.
Oh my God.
We're doing it.
Here we go.
Hello, Emma Gough.
Hello, Hannah.
How are you?
Very, very good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good. I'm really excited to have you on this podcast.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because I feel like we are going to get weird, like really crazy.
Oh, hell
Because
yeah.
you and I put together.
That's what I'm banking on.
Always fun, but yeah, when you've got mics as well, this is... Let's see, I'll try and be civilised.
No, don't.
It's very professional.
Civilised?
Podcast,
No, we're not into that. We don't want civilised. That's real lame. No, we're not into it.
Love
What's
it.
going on?
Oh, look, bit of this, bit of that. I'm sort of in the middle of projects. Like I don't have any other projects on, just work. And it's kind of amazing because work is full-time, full on. And it's still creative, like I'm still getting my outlets and stuff. But a little part of me is thinking that maybe I'm on the hunt for the next project. And I have to sort of hold that back a little bit just till things get a bit more stable. But you know when you get that itchy feeling, you're like, okay.
I know it really well.
I need that thing to come up soon, you know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like first a bit of context. Like we're in your space right now.
Yes.
We are in the podcast room of the Melbourne Actors Guild.
Yes, it's very fancy, as
It's
you can
so
see.
fancy.
We have things on the wall.
Textured walls,
We
which
have
is satisfying
lights.
to touch.
Yes.
It's delicious.
It's all very
But this has like been your main project for like the past, how many years since you started pursuing it?
So I got the lease for this place June last year. The build took a long time because Melbourne was going through lockdown, of course.
Oh, that joyful time.
And I illegally was fitting this place out by myself for multiple months. But we kind of opened in Feb. So yeah, this year's been busy. And it feels like it's been a long time, but really Feb was not that long ago.
It really
What are we?
wasn't.
We're October.
October. Everyone's
What's that,
thinking
like
about Christmas.
6 months, 7 months.
Which isn't long.
That's not that long.
No.
But it feels like it's been like 10 years because I've just jam-packed so much into, getting this place going. Which has been incredible.
Such an achievement. Had you done something like that before you built this place?
No way.
No.
Not even close. I've taught and I've worked casually at retail and I've directed, which is kind of managerial but not really, but I've never been in such a leadership position, let alone run a business, let alone run a space, like all of these extra things. But every second of the way, I just know it's exactly what I want to do. And so
that is so amazing.
Yeah. Because I love everything, and running your own business, you get to do everything. Like I love graphic design. I love admin, as weird as that sounds. I love like things getting all organised.
Is that because you like the ticking it off?
Yeah.
Like writing a listing is fun, but then like
it's the neatness. It's like doing maths.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's a right way and a wrong way. And when you do it, it's satisfying because you're like, I did it. There's only one answer. So if you've done it, it means you've done it right, and it's all neat, and So I get a buzz out of that. And the same as cleaning. Like I actually love cleaning.
Do you like all sorts of cleaning? Like I'm okay with vacuuming.
I just find it so satisfying taking a messy space or a room or whatever, and just tidying it up and cleaning it and making it look the best it can look. And I just, it gets me. But if I had to do that every day, just that as a job, wouldn't want to do it. If I had to do graphic design only as a job, wouldn't want to do it. If I had to do admin, if I had to teach, only teach, wouldn't want to do it. But yeah,
so you need like the constant variety because like they all inspire each other.
That's it. I get to do a bit of. I'm very greedy. I want a bit of everything. I'm a smorgasbord kind of gal.
That's okay.
I want what's it called? A buffet. A buffet.
Or is it more that you're a nibbler? Maybe you're a nibbler.
Yes.
You're having a bit of everything.
Yes, a little nibble.
Because you share with everyone.
Yeah, a little morsel, tasty morsel.
Tasty, a little tasty bit.
Yeah.
No, because you're not greedy because you're so giving with your time and with everything that you do. So like definitely not greedy.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Because like context, so how I met you is fantastic.
So you know this place too.
I do.
Very well. Founding member, Hannah Sainty.
Hello, I have a card.
A big believer. Yeah. I've got a card.
I do. I've still got it. I look at it. I'm like, it's so crisp.
You know there's no more of those.
Isn't there?
No, that's
God,
it.
they were limited
the
edition.
ones who got them. That's it. So there's
so delicious.
You better hold on to that.
I'm gonna. It's
It'll
like
be worth
it's
a lot.
literally. It's so like it's not even in my purse because I'm like it'll get like
you don't bend
dodgy
the edges.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so neat.
Keep it in a Ziploc bag.
I might frame it. It need to be like a reversible
what do those
one.
people do with the toys in plastic or whatever? And they're like, don't take it out of the packaging.
Yes.
It'll lose its value. Or whatever. Yeah, you can have that,
people are
but
a
for your
little
little card. It is just a paper card for context.
But it's a really good GSM.
Everyone. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like you went out. It's the details.
Look, it was a bit of a splash out.
Yeah.
But I thought you guys were worth it.
No, like I felt so honoured. I was literally like, because I love cards. I'm like into it. And I was just like.
The paper. Yes. See, this is why we get along. Because I know you appreciate the same things I appreciate.
Totally. That's
why we're
exactly what it
friends.
is.
Oh my God. Yes.
Wait, so I do want to talk about it. So like.
Yes.
The way I'd like to start from how we met because you were one of like, you were so inspiring to me. And mind you, so context for everyone, we met due to a mutual friend.
Yes.
Who is a phenomenal like audio engineer and in film and helped with stage productions and that. And she said to me, you've got to meet Emma Gough. She's a wicked director and actor. You got to connect with her.
Yeah. And Rez is such a legend. And ironically, we're all creative, but I met Rez at T2 in our retail job.
Right. I feel like everyone doing retail and hospitality is like, they're just like the most
It's a rite of
creative.
passage. Rite of passage. Yeah.
It is.
And then I was doing online sessions, wasn't I?
Yes, monologues.
And you wanted to get into like stretch your acting muscles a bit. And was this before lockdown?
This was during lockdown. I had only been back in Australia for a few months. And then I thought I was going back to London. Yeah. Found out I was staying. So I was like, right, let's start investing. We're in lockdown. I'll just invest now. So
you're fresh out of the hub of it all, London. You come back to old dreary Melbourne where there's, next to, no, I shouldn't say no art scene, but there's stuff happening. But compared to London, there's just not quite as enthusiastic. And then we're in lockdown too. That would have been like a creative starvation of some kind.
It wasn't. I was like, all right, let me transform this. And so I ended up doing just a bunch of online stuff.
So
and so
good.
before I
So
met you,
proactive.
I did like another online acting one, which was just hard, but it was like through self-tapes basically. I was like, fine.
Oh my God.
Great, it's going to stretch like the tech muscle. Like how can I work with my tiny room?
Oh my God. Has everyone been scarred from that now?
Hell yeah.
Self-tapes.
But also like now you're just an absolute pro at it. You're just like,
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, give me a real challenge.
exactly. Give me something real. But then, so then like when the monologues came along, because I'd just come off of doing a bunch of monologues and things, I was like, yeah, this is delicious. And then you being able to run them online.
Yes.
I was like.
Yeah, because that was the one I was doing was like a start to finish. If you got given a monologue, where do you start? What do you do? How do you develop character, memorize the text, all that stuff. So yeah, and that was a real experiment for me too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever done anything like that. The only reason I started online classes was because I couldn't act and I felt starved, and then I thought my mates would also be feeling that. And so we started it as like a group of mates first, and then we were like, actually this is really fun, just getting together once a week.
Yeah.
Over Zoom doing acting exercises or whatever. And then I designed the monologue series, and then actually got people to apply or whatever and pay me $10.
It was so
$10 a session.
It was like proper like printouts and everything that came with it.
I got my full on like package on with that. I was like, this is the marketing. This is your little take home pack. You get like,
oh man,
you get.
And it got me. I was like,
practice.
you mean I get to get takeaway pamphlets and homework? Yes.
Right,
homework.
See, we're nerds. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any course I do that has like take home info or exercise sheets, whatever, I'm like, yes, this is my jam.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
It's delicious. It's yum. I asked, like you've got classes running at the Guild now, and there's like, we've just been doing improv every week.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Love improv.
Oh,
my
delicious.
God.
Just getting out of get away from all of your inhibitions. It's delicious.
Yes.
It's so delicious. But what I was going to say was I asked Scott, the teacher, for homework.
Did you?
Yeah. And then it was just
my gosh.
He was like, just notice everything and then tell the stories about them. I was like, nah, I do that every day.
You're like, where's my info pack, mate? I want a printout.
I want special homework, not who I am already. I can't help but look at people and make stories up. Like,
so good. Yeah, you're like me. I did a course. It was here as well, actually, but not me. Someone had came in and did it. And Susie, she's a full nerd, but she gave us homework. Her homework was so regimented. She's like, you will journal a page every single day. Doesn't matter what you write, as long as you write a page. And that's like, all of her stuff was no compromise, like
non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, that's the one. And the other one was meditate for 10 minutes a day.
Okay.
And then we also had a prompt that we had to read what she gave us, because she gave us like academic articles and stuff. And this is on psychophysical acting. So it's such it's such a niche, you know. And somehow she had she did her PhD in it, not somehow. She researched it. And she gave us like readings to read. And then we had to take the prompt from the readings and discuss them in the next session. And so every week she would like up the ante a little bit, and I was like frothing it. I was like, yes, thank you.
That's delicious.
Yes. My dream is like an actor's army, and it's like, it's not school, but it's like more, you know, you've trained, but now it's like you test, like you've got 3 plays on the go that you're learning, you know, you're doing exercise in the morning, you're doing voice, you're doing, you know, like all this shit. And I just love it. Like, it's so intense, and you just have no choice. You're all in or don't
all in
come.
or nothing.
Yeah, that's it. Actors Army. That's what I want. So if someone wants to start that, I will join.
I love that. Well, because I remember like, this is what I've always loved about you is what you're very proactive in the sense that you have an idea, I'm going to apply myself to it. And then if it doesn't work, fine. But if it does, hell yeah, I'm going to ride that wave and like, let me see who I can get on board.
Yes.
And it was like, you did this, what was that? I think it was in between the lockdowns again. You did a full recording of a morning routine.
Yes.
I remember this.
Did I share that with you?
You didn't share it with me.
Oh my God.
But you told me about it. And then you showed me a tiny bit. And then you told me how you've been going through it and testing it out.
Yes. Okay, so, oh my God. So lockdown. Okay, I think everyone smashed YouTube, didn't we? We just like binged the shit out of anything we could find. And I got obsessed with morning routines. I think a lot of people did. And it was that whole like entrepreneur, you know, this is what billionaires do every day. They get up and they exercise and then they meditate and like all of this shit or whatever. And so I kept writing. I was developing this list of like the ultimate morning routine for myself.
Yeah.
And because I need that like discipline, I need someone to be like, you are fucking doing it. Wake up and do. I recorded it as like an audio tape. And so in the morning, my alarm, it started with this gong noise, like a bong. And that's what I wake up to. And then it's like this classical music.
You just go from Buddhist monk to like
literally,
opera singer.
It is literally, it's like do, like this. And then I recorded my voice going through stretching, like a stretching routine.
Like as in like, okay,
as
bend
in
down
like,
and touch your toes.
It's like, okay, we're going to go left, neck to the left, now to the right, and now we're going to stand up, reach for the toes, all that shit. And then it was so detailed, it did all of that. And then it's like, okay, now we're going to sit down and we're going to journal. And then I had a workout recorded as well.
That's right, yes, I remember this.
And so the workout was 50 squats, 50 sit-ups, 50 push-ups every day. And I did that to like music. It was like hardcore, like like gym music. So the music changed. It was like, like really badass.
Wait, were you doing like positive affirmations through it?
There were,
like, good work,
at the end it finishes, So, and then when you finish that, you have positive affirmations and a meditation. And that was to Wim Hof breathing. So there's 12 minutes of 2.5 minute rounds of Wim Hof breathing, and then a 2-minute cold shower. And then, because that's all the, that's all the like, the hardcore stuff. And then it changes to this, what did I have? I think it was Blackpink, some pop song that I then, after my shower, did my makeup to and like got dressed for the day. And the entire thing was an hour. And it was just so attractive to me that I knew that if I woke up and played this thing, it just took me 1 hour and I would literally do all of that. And I'd be like, I've done my exercise, I've stretched, I've and just having it so compact was just so attractive. I think I did it for about 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Every day?
It was pretty regular. But then there's something so weird about hearing your own voice.
Oh yeah, so that's what I thought when you said that you were recording your voice.
Irritating. It was. I never got over that. I think that's probably why I stopped actually. Because I had it in my mind that I'd actually record it for other people.
Yeah.
Like my mates and stuff. Like, it'd be funny to wake up to your mate's voice being like, good morning. How are we going to start the day today? Like I had fun with it. It wasn't that serious. But that was the intention. But then I was too embarrassed, so I never shared it with anyone. And I just did it myself. I'm sure they exist. I'm sure these audio tapes are already around.
Do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one thing as well, because it's like, as an actor and as a director, you would know that understanding psychology is imperative to getting anything done.
Yeah.
And that also includes yourself.
Yes.
So it's like, that you need the motivation to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like, because I'm like willpower and like stoic, just get over it, get it done.
Go,
attitude.
go.
Yeah. And I'm like, just go.
Yeah.
And like to have the recording would almost like make me feel like as though it's telling me what to do, and then I don't like it.
I don't like getting told what to do.
Stop
Fuck off.
Also,
you get all rebellious.
Today, I don't like that song.
Yes. Oh my God.
So I mean, it's like I have like, and because it's like over lockdowns, like I was writing for the Wellbeing mag, and I was writing about morning routines, because like I've had morning routines for years.
Yes.
And I was just like, I wrote it all down, and I was just like, because it's like for me, like my morning routine comes from like internal. I can't have it external. It has to come from the inside out.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. But it's like, I know that about my psychology. That's why I don't buy into it. I'm like, I can't listen to meditative recordings and stuff. I'm like, it has to go the other way.
Yeah.
But it's like, for you know that it had to come the other way.
It's funny you say that, because I've never done anything that sort of regimented before. And so it was a new thing for me, and I did stop it. Like, I don't do it anymore. And I think it was part of that is like me telling myself that I have to do it really turned me off the whole thing. And it's the same with my to-do list and stuff. I've come full circle with my to-do list now. But yeah, like running the business and stuff, it's been such an eye-opening thing because at the start I used to get such satisfaction out of lists, and I was like, oh, I'm going to tick this off. It was so amazing. But then when I started this place, like the list was like horrifically long and just overwhelming. And so every time I did the list, it would fill me with fear. And then I'd be like, fuck you, list. Why do I have to do, like you don't control me, like all this. And so I stopped doing lists, and I actually got so much done just having it in my head. There was something about it being written down was just like too much. And I actually found so much more like, I don't know. I was like, flow and like more active, like having it in my mind. Like I felt more, I don't know, sort of like working with myself in each moment as opposed to 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You're doing, like, and so I've found that doesn't work. But now that I've released that, I've gone back to lists and now I enjoy them again.
But is it because it's like
so I'm a very complicated, I don't know what the fuck I want. I'm so,
none of us have the right to try and think that we can control the brain.
Oh my, honestly.
Like we can't even use all of it.
My brain is like, it out tricks me all the time.
Oh,
I'm like, you are such a moody little conniving, cunning little bitch. Like honestly. But yeah, you're right. It's like your mind affects everything.
Absolutely.
Everything you do. And some amazing things that I have done, particularly with this place, I'm like, oh my God, you could look at it from a different way and be like, you've done everything you wanted, blah, blah, blah. It's so amazing. But then you look at it a different way and you're like, this isn't complete. That's not where it should be, blah, blah, blah. It's just how you look at stuff determines how you are in the world. And if you can control how you look at stuff, well, then you're so powerful. Like you can literally do anything you want with your life every single day. You can make it exactly how you want it. And I think, that's just the hardest thing is like I don't look for validation, or it's not so much validation, but like satisfaction or I don't know. I don't blame anything else anymore. I used to blame things like, oh, I don't have this in my life. That's what I need to be fulfilled, or that's what I need to feel like I'm getting somewhere or whatever. Or, oh, if only I could, be living a life that I'm proud of, or like, and I don't know what you feel it with, like relationships, stuff, anything. But now I'm like, actually, it's just whether I'm telling my mind to stop trying to trick me or not. That's literally what it is.
It's a huge,
oh my God.
It's a huge thing. And you've hit the nail on the head because it's one of those, like there's a theory around this, and it's like the theory of everything will be better when.
Yes.
But when never comes.
It never comes.
So like what's good right now? And because it's like we do live in a world where it's like everything is so fast paced.
Yeah.
We don't stop to kind of go, oh, actually I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, well done. Look how far I've come. Well done, me.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, past me. Now current me. Let's get to future me. Like let's get back to it happily.
Exactly. And you're like bombarded daily with, even if you've got everything, you need this as well. Like, and I think we really underestimate the effect of that. And I think there should be heaps more regulation and that, because this is people's mental health. Like we're just glorified monkeys. We can't control that shit,
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like it's so irresponsible to be like, oh, just if you don't want it, just don't buy it. Or if you don't want it, just ignore it. Like ignoring is not natural to us. We are programmed to notice and survive, and like to tell people that they should just give up on that is just crazy. But the amount of brain power and practice it takes to train yourself out of that is
it's phenomenal.
So
and it never ends as well, because it's like that thing of going like I talk about this a lot, like when new opportunities come, it's like, is it an opportunity or is it a distraction? Things will be super tantalizing. It's very hedonistic. It's like, it's right there and I can do it, and it'll be this and that and then you go down that road and you're like, it fizzled.
Yes.
That whole time I could have done that and that would have gotten me further. But it's like to have the foresight to kind of go, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Which one is the real one?
Yes. And the ones that you love, they're the ones that you go back to even when it fails. Like I remember, it's funny. This place, right? Melbourne Actors Guild.
Yes.
So I came up with this in 2019, I was like, I want a studio. I want it to have everything you could need to make you the best actor you can be. I want you to be fit. I want you to be well read. I want you to understand art. I want you to have people you can collaborate with that can push you and test you, and you can explore, you know, all of that stuff. But then I was on Facebook and I actually found this group I created.
That you created?
I created, I think it was 2014, so years ago, and I called it the Actors Exchange, and I was trying to create this group, and I added my actor friends and stuff, and I was like, hey, let's all get together and do practice sessions. And I remember a few people joined, but no one bit. No one could come to anything I was putting on, or like it just didn't take.
Yeah.
And then doing the online things during lockdown, I was like, you know what, I'll just do an online version of this group. Let's all do it via Zoom. Everyone's doing Zoom these days.
And you're all at home and no one can get away from me.
Exactly, yeah. And the same thing, it's like, you know, a few people were interested. There was probably 3 of us, me plus 3 of you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 on a good day, but people would come one day and then not come, and then, you know, sort of, you know, in and out. And part of me was so disappointed again. I was like, oh, I thought it'd be this big thing. And like, but part of me was so grateful and excited for the little things, you know. And then even here, it's like, I remember my very first week of running sessions, and no one came. No, of course, no one came. And I'd be like, that's all right. We're just a baby, whatever. And then you'd get these people booking online, but they're not turning up. And then you'd have these awkward sessions with one person.
You're like, I swear there's more people.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. And so all of those hits, you could be like, oh, well, that was a waste of time. But because I know deep down so hard that this is exactly where I want to go, and I'm committed, I'm like, the next 10 years, this is all I'm doing, you just keep going back. And so I think if failure deters you, it's the best way to show you what you really want, because you won't give up on the shit you really want. You won't do it. Life's, you know, it's too short. Even if you think you'll give up on it, you won't. It'll still be in the back of your mind, and you'll always be thinking, oh, I'd really love to be on stage, or I'd really love to, I don't know, design cars or whatever. Like the thing that's in there, you have to uncover it, but once you've uncovered it, there's no covering it back up.
Oh, yeah. Firstly, I was going to say that is totally a drop the mic monologue that you did. That was
sorry.
so good.
I really went on a whole thing.
No, I loved it. I was like, yum, 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 eating it up. This is delicious. But that's like phenomenal. And like, you know, this is one of the things that I truly believe in. Like, I don't believe that you should fear anything except for regret. Like, that is my biggest fear in life. I always think back to the 99-year-old Hannah, who's still going to be like killing it. I swear, I know. I've seen my genealogy. Yes. My great-grandma does it. She can still kick real high.
You'll be running marathons or something wild, like deep sea diving at 90.
Like, now I like running. So at 90, that's when I decided.
Oh, my God.
But it's like I always think to the future, like really old Hannah, and I'm like, what are you going to regret, man? Because it's like I look at it now, it's like, you know, the moments in time where you've just been up against the wall and the thing just kept not working. Yeah. You go, okay, maybe that's not it.
Yeah.
So you give up on it and you walk away. And then it's
Try
like I've looked back at that, and then it was, you know, a few years ago that I was just like, oh man, like if I died tomorrow, I'd be so mad at myself for not trying.
Yes.
And I'm just like, if I fail, okay, but like I've just got to do it. Like
everyone says that, don't they? They say you will not regret trying.
Exactly.
You will regret not trying, but you won't regret trying and failing. Yeah. I think that's
continuously trying.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, like tell me, like in terms of like the guild and even like your acting and your directing, is it something, the things that have led you to do this, are they the things that like, have they kept you up at night? Did it just kind of like sweep in and whisper at you and then it stayed with you, and then what happened?
I think acting's been probably the hardest thing to crack in, to give myself permission to do, perhaps. And I don't know if that's just ingrained in me from like family or life or whatever, or it's just pretty common. Like it's not portrayed as a thing that you're going to be super successful at it and it's going to fulfill your life and all that. We always get the horror stories of, you know, the best in the business still having a hospo job and whatever.
Definitely.
But I think if that deters you, then, you know, you've got more work to do. That fear. So for me, acting I've been completely fearless in when it's my own shit.
Yeah.
So at uni I did this piece. I don't even know what the hell I was thinking, but it was a container fest. So all of these performances were done in shipping containers.
Ooh.
And so the stage is really small, but you have to obviously make the piece for the space. And I did this bizarre, I suppose it's performance art, I don't know. There were no words, I didn't speak. But it was like I was on stage and then I had this giant mound of meat, and then I had this moment where I was gorging myself on this giant mound of thing, and this crazy classical music was playing, and it was meant to be like I had this sack of flour and it said what did it say? Violence or something. It was about it was about sex and violence in media and art. And I was kind of going on the metaphor of us gorging ourselves until we are sick and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's so bizarre. And that's right. And then I got my friend who was a plant in the audience to stand up and be like, this is fucked, and like they were taking photos, and then I go up to them, drag them on stage and then slit their throat and then keep eating.
Whoa.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But I think that's the confidence you have when you're young. And so acting for me now has been like, I can't really go back to that because it was so bold and so like, I don't know, I just haven't invested in that journey to become an actor. And I think it's because now my standard is so high now. I still love doing it, but in my mind I've got that thing that it just is harder and it requires more of you because I want to go to that heaps deeper level. Whether before I was like, I'm in a musical, this is fun, you just dance around, it's no big deal. But now I'm like, if I'm going to act again, I want to be unrecognizable, I want to be like a completely different person. I want to get really into that character. So I haven't like touched it in a while. I don't know. Like I'm not into, I think you get to a point in your creativity where you don't want to do gigs anymore. You don't want to just do like, I've never done gigs. I've never been paid to act. So it's easy, but I don't want to do projects that aren't mine, that aren't exactly what I want to be doing at that point. I don't look at things as an opportunity to try it, So I'm getting really picky now that I'm a bit older. Directing's the same, except directing requires so much more of you, I would say, in a different way, in that you're there supporting everyone else in the project. And so same thing, I don't do directing jobs that I don't 100% believe in or am obsessed with. And so, I think, so I've been talking for so long now.
No, I love it.
I think your question was about how does it keep you up at night and stuff like that. And I think I'm very snobby in the work that I do, in that if it's not a concept that I'm thinking about all night, every night, I won't do it. And I think I love that feeling, that like obsessive feeling that, you go through your day and it brings you back to that moment where the character does this or that piece of music you could use or whatever, and you're just in this entire world of it and it just consumes you. That's the work I make. That's the work I want to make. And so I suppose I do less than most people. But also it's not my full-time job, and I think that's nice because I've got this place that I can still be creative in. And so when an idea or a concept comes along, that I then can have that space to grab onto it and to do it and pursue it. But I'm not interested in auditioning for a bunch of stuff, and I'm not interested in like putting my name out there as a director and being like, here, come do our showcase, or we've got a concept for this, Oklahoma or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds
that's
like
not why I do it. I don't do it for the money, I suppose.
Yeah.
I do it for my own satisfaction, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a good thing I don't do it for the money because you don't get paid much, like there's not that much in it at this level.
Well, it's like it's really hard as well because that's like in all creative industries. Like when you're still like you've done these incredible projects that so much passion and love has gone into it, but if it hasn't hit like the viral market or it hasn't hit the celebrity market for whatever reason, you're still like at apprentice stage even though you are beyond apprenticeship.
Yeah, and I think that's hard to move out of that stage. But that's where you really need a mate who's a really great publicist or producer, because even like work I've done, I didn't even record it. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to do it. It lives in the moment and then it dies. And that's why I love theatre, you know, because that's the purpose of theatre, that it is of the moment, of that time. But as far as your career goes, you have to record stuff. You have to publicise. You have to get reviewers, you know. And I don't think I've come across a producer that, would be ever at that stage that they could elevate your career. And you look at other people and, you know, I was looking at Fringe Festival this year, and some of the marketing these artists do, I'm just blown away. I'm so impressed. It's amazing.
It is a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and you think, you know, someone has done that for you because you either pay them or they believe in your work. And I just think it's so amazing what people, what they're able to do.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Publicity is such a different game. And I think when you're an artist, if you're trying to do that side as well, it really takes you out of the moment. And all the shows I've done producing as well. And it does take you out of it. It really takes up your time, and it really takes you out of that beautiful flow, obsessive moment that you get to be in when you're the creative.
Yeah, you're acting upon analysis as opposed to inspiration.
Yeah, and also the art becomes about who's coming instead of what the piece is. Yeah. And that hurts me so much. It hurts my little soul because you get upset and you sort of beg your friends to come and support you and all of this stuff, and a lot of the time it's because you really believe in the show, but then the other part of the time is, well, you need bums on seats, otherwise it's just not a good night out.
Right, it's like half and half.
Yeah.
So I really want to go back to something that you said before, that theatre piece that you did with all of the meat.
Yes.
We just kind of glossed over it a little bit. I did not know this about you.
Huge pile of meat. Yes.
What was the idea generation of that? And also, was that like really strange to the people that you were studying with, or like the people who saw it? Because like that, like it is bold.
I think, so the weird thing with me is I'm a bit of a loner. And it actually, I think I've done it semi-consciously in order to be able to do what I want to do and not worry about what people think, in a way. So I've always been a floater. Like, I get along with people really well, but I don't get attached or invest much in relationships. And so at uni, I actually didn't have that many friends that came and saw it. And that was actually the best thing for me, because I actually love creating for strangers. I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a bit cowardly because it's so much easier to perform to strangers. So that one, I was sort of just throwing it out there as a thing, trying it on. No one saw it except Rom, who was my friend who was in it.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't really ever get her thoughts about it, to be honest. She was in it. I think she just enjoyed it. But I don't think I ever ask people what they thought. Or maybe I'm just used to people being like, oh, yeah, it was good, and they just don't really tell you. I don't know.
A bunch of yes people around you half the time.
That's it. And so it's hard to tell where your work actually lands, because you never – well, maybe even if they're honest, I don't trust it. Like my parents come and see a lot of stuff, and if they say, oh, it was good, like I don't trust that answer anyway. Like, it wouldn't actually matter what they said. I wouldn't. And that's just me. Maybe as a defense mechanism, I sort of block out hearing what people think about it. Because if I like it, then I'm satisfied.
Which is really
interesting. So directing,
interesting.
it's easier, but acting, it's harder because you don't know what you're giving.
Yeah. Well, that's two different nodes. That's good to talk about, because so if you're happy making things, like a lot of people, and like myself included, I've always been so afraid of what people think. Yes. And it's like, it's not even like, oh, like, I want you to like me, please don't judge me. But it's like, I'm so, like, I feel like I've got this delicate egg of a thing that I made. I feel like I didn't even honor it. Now I'm scared to show it to you in case you make it break. And whereas it's like, to have the boldness, it doesn't matter if that thing is, you know, if it is so delicate, because you're strong enough to hold it. So like, from what you're saying, it sounds like you've got this like strength about you to be able to go, yeah, I made the thing. I don't know, it's delicate, but it's cool. Like, I don't know, it's a bit weird, it's quirky, but do you like it? I don't care. Like,
I think that comes from early on. I decided that I don't care what other people think, because I'm not in this for opinions. I'm in it, and it's not in the selfish way, because theatre is all about, art in general is all about the audience. It absolutely has to be about them. There's no point putting on a show and no one seeing it, or putting on a show and it not resonating with people. That's not the point of art, I don't think. And so I think I kind of like the decision that I made early, that the only opinion I care about is mine. And it's not in like an arrogant sense, but in a way that I think this is the sort of amateur independent level I'm at as well, is that if something comes out how it is in my brain, then that's success to me. If, like, you know, when I'm directing, the biggest aim is for what happens on stage, what I see, to be what I wanted it to be like in my mind. And so I think maybe that's just the level I'm at, and the level to come is what you're talking about, is more about that original work. And because if what is in your brain is being executed, well, then the level up is whether what your brain came up with is of any value to the outside world. And so I think maybe I'm moving into that stage, but at the stage I'm at now still, and it might be who I'm working with and the budget I'm just sort of working around with these, you know, early career projects. I think just having it be anything like what you imagined is success for me. Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's like sort of like your end point, if you will, is just the completion of it happening. It's even before it hits the audience.
Yeah, well, not sometimes. So I'll tell you a story. I did a show, Fran and Lenny. It's a punk 2-hand play, and I did it with these two beautiful actors, and they were young and both started this company themselves, and like just the best chicks ever, started their company themselves, put on this show, and then I got on board to direct. And in rehearsal and through the process, I knew what I could get out of them. You sort of get a sense of things as a director, and even like I'm an actor's director, so I very much come from the actor's perspective, in that I want to get the most out of the performance in the thing. And so working with them, like you get a gauge of their potential, I suppose, or their abilities. And so it was a fringe show. We only had 4 performances, maybe 5. And they didn't get it to the standard I knew they could until the last night. And that was the night I was like, yes, this was a successful run, you know. And I think we didn't sell out because it was Sydney. It was Sydney Fringe with the foreigners, you know, interstate. And every night there were things that I knew I could help them with, or things that it wasn't quite all working together. And even the tech team as well, like, you know, everyone supports everyone, but it wasn't until the last night. And when you see it all happening, and it has the pace, and it has the focus, and it has the charged energy that's concentrated on the story, not on the performers or not on the audience or other things, but when it's concentrated on the characters, on their story, and the connection that happens, and you know when it happens, and it's amazing. It's just, you can't describe that feeling, but as a director, because you essentially have no control. Once the curtain goes up, you have no control. And I'm very controlling, and I see every night of every performance. And it was that last night that it happened, and it clicked, and you could see them drop into it and really connect. Yeah, and it's an amazing feeling, because some people don't know what they're capable of either. Like, they were pretty young actresses, and I knew they were very good at what they do, because they wouldn't have started a production company otherwise.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you need those opportunities for an outside eye or someone who can find a way in that can unlock things for you, because we all do things the way we do them because that's what we know. That's what we've practiced. That's how our brain works, whatever. That's where our inspiration has been found. But when you have another person come in that has different views or different language or different approaches, you can unlock new levels to yourself, sort of thing, And that's what it felt like on that night, and just the satisfaction you get from having what's in your head actually put out in front of people, I think is amazing. And I think it's the same for all arts, music, visual art, anything. And I think that's what you train for, is you're training to literally get what's in your head out there and expressed accurately. And I think that's the frustrating thing of when you're beginning, is that, you have amazing things happening in here up in your imagination, but to deliver them is the challenge. And that's where pros are pro. It's not just the ideas they have, it's the ability to deliver them how they see them. Yeah.
So what do you think that because obviously saying that you have to put the work in to get them to reach that point, and then that it's a pro because they've reached that point. If you keep doing it and you're not reaching the pro point, what's the advice for someone?
I think finding a teacher is absolutely amazing. So I've worked with a few teachers, and it's been in different stages in my life, and people definitely you definitely respond differently depending on who you are at that moment. And I think everyone's better when they figure themselves out first, or they're comfortable with themselves. If you show yourself love, then you can step on into being daring and being risky and risking ridicule and all that stuff. You're sort of ready for it, and you're open to criticism and advice and all that stuff. So I think definitely finding the right teacher. So just keep trying. It depends why you're stuck. If you're stuck because of your own habits, that can be a different thing. If you're stuck because you're out of inspiration and you haven't found the right the project that will get you up and excited and all of that, and giving up your free time on it and stuff, not because you're getting paid, but because you believe in it or you're really excited by the project. But teachers, if you work with an amazing teacher, and I mean amazing in that they're amazing at what they do, obviously, but they're also on a level with you that you speak the same language and you appreciate the same things and you have the same goals. So I think taste is definitely important, because you can have the best teacher ever, but personality-wise they're different to you, and then you're not going to get very far. It doesn't matter how much wisdom and techniques and advice they can give you. But working with, and I've only just found someone myself. I've been seeking a mentor probably my entire adult life, which it hasn't been long, but it seemed long, because I've been to a few places. I've trained overseas. I've gone to 2 different unis, all these different things, all these short courses everywhere, and I've never found a teacher that I've clicked with in that way. That really, it's such a weird thing to say. I don't know how to articulate it, but it's like you resonate somehow on a particular level, and they say the exact right thing, and they read you perfectly, and they give you things at the right moment, not when you're, if you're too critical or down on yourself, you don't want to hear certain things, but if you're too positive and cocky, then you need to hear other things, and it's like they just understand you on such a level that every bit of training you do with them, they just elevate you, and I think that's what takes you into your next evolution is, similar to that outside eye, that different way of thinking, that different way of understanding things, and then having that accurately and precisely sort of given to you.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, but hard to find, right?
So hard to find, and you got to
how
keep
many
trying.
times? Yeah, how many courses do you have to do, or whatever, to find your perfect person?
Oh,
yeah.
it's
like a soulmate.
It is
pretty
like
much as hard as finding a best friend or a soulmate is finding a really good teacher.
And that's what you're describing there as well, because it's such an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not it is like your acting teacher or your director.
Yeah.
Or even like a co-writer or co-collaborator, like even on that level as well. Like you've just really got to understand and, you know, be able to like handle each other's shit.
Yes.
And call it out.
Yeah. And understand each other. Like sometimes someone might make a joke sarcastically and they're making a joke, but you're like, oh, that was critique of my work. Like, you know, certain people, and like you might have different tastes even, and you're drumming down this path and they're going the other path, and you just will never. Yeah, collaborators are the same thing. They're so hard to find, but then when you find them, it's like work is just a breeze, and you speak the same language. And I've also been privileged enough to work with people who are like that I've found, and we just have the same taste, the same ideas, and it's more than a shorthand. It's sort of like a symbiosis where you sort of, big word. It's like, it feels like you're growing together at the maximum efficiency or the maximum effect in a way. It's sort of like here's a metaphor. You're a tree and then there's the fertilizer and you get, you know, it's the proper shit that you need. Yeah. It's like
there's no filler.
It's what goes in your veins, you know. So yeah, if you're both feeding each other, then it's incredible where the project can go because you're both in that state of evolving and creativity, but maximized potential.
Which also gives you like a sense of bravery and pride when you have someone with you.
Yeah, exactly. Well. Yeah. Having someone have your back is, I can't imagine how awesome that, that it feels great. And I think that's where a lot of my projects have been solo by choice because I don't want to drag someone else down with me for certain things. So if I'm not confident, I don't want to do it with someone else. But when you're not confident, people are like, well, that's when you ask for help, blah, blah. But I'm so different. I will never ask for help if I am not confident in the endeavour. If I'm confident in the endeavour, then I want everyone on board. I'm like, fuck yeah, jump on this thing. We can
get on it. Yeah, we'll have to work at it, but we're getting there, or it's already happening.
Yeah.
Do you think that the if you're not confident in it, is it sometimes have you found that in like looking at it retrospectively, you've been like, oh, it was actually I needed to test it out, and now I have the parameters moving forward, and the next one I'll actually be confident.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and well, I mean, if you take this place, the Guild, I started off on my own because I didn't want anyone to be taken down. So I didn't ask help for anyone, So I've got founding members and I wanted to deliver the product to them. But they don't have to do anything else. They're very much clients or customers. You know, I don't want to impinge on anything. And that was because I wasn't confident in what I was offering. You know, I felt like it wasn't worth the investment yet that they had already given. But now I'm like, mate, if you say you're aligned with us, then you better step up and offer some value because this place is fucking cool.
It's
there's something, I don't know what it is about having your vision sort of completed, but the satisfaction and the confidence that gives you is just like, yes, now I'm ready. Now it's here, and I could, feel regretful and be like, oh, I should have done it before and I should, whatever. But you only know what you know at the moment, and it's Captain Hindsight doesn't help anyone unless you're
and there's always a silver lining anyway. Like you'd even say if I started it early on, it probably would have crumbled because then there were lockdowns.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to starting it during that hectic time.
Yeah.
But so like then that brings me to like wanting to know about your inspiration. So the times when you don't have the people with you, for the times you don't have the project going, how on earth do you go, all right, I know that this is what I want and it's over there. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know when I'm getting there, but how do you keep yourself fueled?
Oh, fuel is the best word for it. I love it so much. So the moments in my life where I've been the most down, the most like, and I've been pretty, haven't we all? especially creatives. But like
Hello, black
super,
dog.
yeah, super like there's a whole freaking mob of them around you, these black dogs. And I didn't realize, but I was doing my final year of my double degree. And so I did arts and education. And the final year of the degree is you do a full year of education, teaching. And I didn't realize, but that whole year I hadn't done anything creative. And I was like so mentally unwell. And, all these other amazing things are happening in my life. I have a beautiful, beautiful partner. We had a house, all this stuff. And that's part of a few of my triggers is that I'm like, oh, you have no right to be unhappy, all that sort of shit. But yeah, I had not done anything. And I think it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it sparks creativity, then it will start filling up. It's like a jump starter. So it could be anything. It could be an improv class. It could be a dance class. It could be any kind of project. Just like someone goes, hey, I need a poem for my friend's birthday card or something. Like just anything. It's like that can be the spark that it might be shit and you might not even enjoy that first one, but you just the consistency of creating, I think, is really important. It's like even experiencing art. Yeah. So for me, I've got I've got a few backups.
All right.
So I know for me that I get stuck creatively when I'm taking things too seriously. So I have to bring in the silly. I have to bring in the stupid. I have to bring in the absurd. It has to be, whatever it is, I just have to do something that reminds me that nothing means anything.
Yeah.
I just need that reminder. Because when I get stuck, I get this sort of paralysis from, I can't do that because it won't be right, or I get too serious. I take it very seriously.
You see it in your body, you're like moving around like
honestly, you're so rigid and so you just need to shake it and be a bit strange. So humour is very, very helpful to me. The other thing for me is believing in the cause, and I always come back to this thing that I just believe in theatre so strongly. And I think there's something about it, how it can educate, it can, help people feel, it can just what art does. And I think it's come out the most over this lockdown and, the insanity that's been taking over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is reduced to yes or no, or black and white. Like everything is opinionated, everything is political, everything is scientific. It either works or it doesn't. And we've been in that scientific mind for a while now. And I think it's so harmful to humans because that's not our experience. We can't articulate everything, and we can know things that we can't say, and we can feel things and experience things on so many different layers and levels that doesn't fit into that frame. And I think what theatre does is it's actual people up in front of you, and so it's the closest you can get to articulating something, articulating your experience. And I think that's sort of been my Northern Star for a while, in that I 100% believe in what I do, and I believe in the power of art, and I believe in theatre as a live experience, as a lived thing. Like every night is different. Every night, the same audience could be in the same place with the same show, but on a night that's different, and it will still be different. And I love that it's so organic, and it's so ancient, and we have done it for so long, and it's so a part of us, this sort of expression of what's on the inside. And I think, if I get real dark and unmotivated or whatever, just remembering the purpose of it all is so helpful. That always brings me back for sure.
I love it. A big old why.
Yes,
why
the
am
why.
I doing this? Why?
Yes. And when everything else, if you want to do something real quick, I just watch Moulin Rouge, to be honest.
That's a good one.
Oh, I love it. It's absurd. It's, energetic. It's emotional.
It's got songs. It's got costumes.
Yes, it's tragic. It's all about, artists and
Yeah, hell yeah. Very inspiring.
Fighting for the love. Fighting
I
for
love that.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it.
The best.
Okay. Now, so this is like a new thing. I've decided, I thought quick fire questions.
Okay.
Really fun.
Yes.
This is going to be a new thing I'm doing. I have to hold the piece of paper because I can't remember what I wrote down.
All right.
Okay.
Quick fire.
So, like, it has to be like, I mean, you can give a couple of sentences, but just see how you go.
Okay. Short and fast.
So, when have you been called weird?
When? Not much, to be honest.
Oh.
Although it's mostly been in looks as opposed to, oh, you're weird. You know.
Weird.
Weird. I was the loud kid. I remember an age and I was so loud and I just had grown-ups like looking down at me, and I remember that feeling of the looking down, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll shut up for a bit. Yeah.
And then look at you now, you're like, I'm in that.
Yeah, right. Well, that, and I was doing education, and I told my partner's parents that I was taking a year off. I was going to defer and do music theatre for a year. And the look of that time as well, they were like, oh, are you sure? Like, I was going from something so certain and regular, teaching, you know, nice and secure. And I was like, I'm going to do music theatre for a year. And they're like, are you sure you want to do that?
Oh.
So not quite weird, but...
No, but it's strange. Like, it's strange for, like, the people that live, like, those normal lives, like the 9-to-5s and stuff, who don't not have these thoughts and these ideas. But it's like, you're doing it. Oh, that's so strange. How dare you?
Yeah, their priorities are different. They want security. They want,
Yeah. Totally.
Sorry, that wasn't a very quick answer, but yeah.
No, I realised when I wrote it down, like, that's not a quick one. But anyway, what superpower do you have?
Do I have now?
Yeah, so it's like, I have a really strange superpower where I'm a super recognizer. I did like a test because it was like a weird thing a few years ago where like scientists were like, we need to know who can like pick up faces and recognize them. I don't know. Who knows? Probably some weird government thing. I didn't delve too deep.
They've got you
to be like, I did the test. I did the test. I was like, oh, I am. I know, because I was like, oh no, like legitimately, I don't know why I remember someone's face.
Wow.
Some like a mannerism about them and context of where they were. I can't remember their names, but I can remember everything else, and I've never known why until I discovered comedy, and I was like, oh, okay, great.
My God.
I know where to put it. But it was like the actual like specificity of like it is a super recognizer. Like it's a random superpower that has pretty much no value.
Wow. Yep.
But,
okay.
Like, is there something weird?
I can sleep anywhere, anytime.
That's like good power.
Like, not joking. On the train, at a station, middle of the day, just woken up, anytime, anywhere, I could fall asleep.
That is insane. I'm so
maybe not
envious.
stay asleep, but at least a solid 10-minute nap.
I mean, that's a power nap.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Either that or I'm extremely malnourished or something. Maybe I don't know.
Insufficient in vitamin D.
Yeah, I don't know.
B12.
I'm iron deficient.
I ate all the meat at my exhibition and now I cannot anymore.
Yeah, true.
I love it.
For the record, I didn't eat raw meat. It was cake with food dye.
Oh,
but then there was tongues and gizzards and all of this at the front of the pile. But what I was actually eating was, it was bread. Bread soaked in icing, sugar and red food dye. Yeah, just for the record. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so...
That's really good for the record, because I was like...
I just ate a pile of raw meat, just like chewing on a giant ox tongue or something.
There was two parts of me. I was like, what the hell? Because like, I don't eat meat either. But then the other part of me was like, hang on a minute. Like, poisoning?
Yeah,
anyway,
it's vivid.
You didn't do it. That's great.
Yeah,
okay.
There were 4 productions of that show as well, so you can imagine what would have happened.
You're just like so keen on sugar. You're like, I can sleep anyway, except I'm having some sugar.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Yes.
Okay. What is a bad habit of yours?
Oh, bad habit. Underestimating myself, I'd say.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, underestimating in that I always give myself a pass, being like, oh no, you're too lazy or you're too tired or you're not organised enough, sort of thing. But what saying all that to yourself does is allow bad behaviour. Yeah,
it gives yourself permission. Like, this is who I am at the end, as opposed to, I'm doing this wrong, fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's a good habit then?
A good habit is probably, I'm pretty obnoxious. And I mean that in that I will just go and do shit and I don't care what people think.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's power.
Yeah.
I love it. What words do you live by?
Oh, fuck. Well, I've got a family there's a motto, you know how you sort of get it handed down, associated with your family name or whatever.
I mean, old school. I don't have that, but
like
I love
our
that.
family didn't have one, but then I was like, I want to get a tattoo and I want it to mean something. So I looked up my last name. And ours is Viva ut vivas, which means live as though you'll live forever.
Ooh.
And that to me, other people think of it as like, oh, you got to live in the now and like spend your life, you know, blah. But I think of it as make such an impression that you live on. And
legacy.
Yeah, legacy. And like you influence people and you can change the trajectory of how they see themselves or for the better. Like that's how you help the world, is thinking about beyond your death, I think. Yeah. Ooh, yes, so maybe that.
I like that one. That's really good. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a whole bunch of things, and I think that's why I love acting, because you get to be all these different people and love. I wanted to be a wildlife photographer at one point because I wanted to hike mountains and stay in a cave with a camera until the bald eagle comes or something. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a commando in the army, jumping out of airplanes.
Oh, hell yeah. I consider joining the SAS for that.
Right? Like, SES would be the best because then you work for the good guys too. A lot of things.
That's good.
But
you are doing all of it because of the acting.
Well, that's right. I'll be an actor and I can do it all.
And then, what do you have for breakfast?
Breakfast? So this was one of those things I decided, you know, when everyone's like, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same T-shirt every day, so he doesn't have to think. Anyway, it wasn't that conscious, but I have had the same breakfast for probably 2 years now.
Great.
Unless I feel really sort of, you know, spontaneous. But always porridge oats with some honey and a bunch of seeds.
Nice.
And milk. Yeah.
Wholesome.
A lot of the time I'll add some apple or banana on there too. But oats every day.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's good. They're good, so good for you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Definitely. And then last one, do you have, so when you are like making anything, if you're writing anything, just about to perform or just about to do a stage performance, is there anything you need to have on you, or like, do you need to hold like a relic? Do you need to have a certain drink? Do you need to have a certain snack? Have you got something?
Yeah. When I'm creating, as in the process of, the thing I always need is a locked door.
Ooh.
I need it shut and I need it locked and I need to know that time is unlimited to me.
Yeah.
That's when I'm the most creative, is when I'm like, it doesn't matter what's happening out there, it doesn't matter the time, because I have this thing where I'm always worrying about other people and the time and whatever. So locked door when I'm creating. When I'm actually working, like performing, nothing ritualistic, like I don't have a lucky something, but I do have a meal that I eat, and I used to eat it before basketball as well. It's just the best, is a bowl of plain rice.
Yum.
An hour before showtime.
Good.
Yeah.
And I literally no salt,
literally plain basmati rice, as white as you can get. And there's just something, I love the taste of rice.
I mean, like, taste is primo.
Yeah. And it's how I set myself up to get the best out of myself performance-wise. And the night before I gorge myself on food, and then the day of, whatever it is, if it's a audition, exam, whatever, performance, then an hour before the show I'll have a bowl of rice, and then for that hour I'm getting in the zone and relaxing. Yeah.
That's epic.
Yeah. You should try it.
I mean, when I was in Japan, it was really funny. Like, I was staying in an Airbnb with this guy, and he, like, obviously he was native. And he was, like, making these, like, rice balls. And I was just like,
yes.
And I was like, cool. I was like, what are you putting in it? And he's like, oh, you know, this one's got tuna. So I was like, yeah, cool. And then there was just one with nothing. And I was like, what's that one? And he's like, no, nothing. And I was like nothing? He was like, no, he's like, that's like the dessert one. And I was like, what? You're having rice with bits as a meal and then rice with nothing as a dessert.
As a dessert?
So but it was so funny because it was just a ball. It was like a perfect sphere that he wrapped up. And then he packed them all.
It's all about presentation in Japanese food, isn't it? Oh.
I mean, bogan at, like, putting in an egg carton. How funny. He's just like, perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Exciting time right now. So obviously you knew that I was going to ask you what your superpower would be if you could have anyone.
Yes.
And then I was going to draw you. So
yes, I can't wait to see it.
Tell us, what was the superpower you were after? Well, I grab it.
Okay, so I really thought about it for a while because originally I was like, oh, I want to be invisible. Like, that would be the coolest, just to like
really hard
run
to draw.
around and I'm like, oh, I don't know how you'll picture it. I finished it. But then I was like, no, if I wanted to be really, the most me and if I could have any power in the world, I would want to be able to self-actualize people. And that as a concept, if you're going sort of Maslow's hierarchy, psychology, blah, 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 it's people fulfilling their potential, essentially. And I would, could you imagine if we all fulfilled our potential? And you just go around, you go zap, 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 and everyone's working at the best they could work at.
Peak of their ability.
The peak of their ability,
and
the peak of their knowledge, the peak of everything. And like, I mean, you could get someone, that's want to spend their time making little glass miniatures or whatever. But imagine if they were the best damn miniatures that person could make, like...
It'd be glorious.
Imagine the world. It would be so good.
Oh, man.
There would still be battles, obviously, because some people want, different things.
But I mean,
but if I've got the power...
That's not self-actualization, is it? That's just like self-narcissism.
You haven't got past the ego layer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I took that information. And that sentence to me, what that said to me is that you just want to tell people not to be a dick.
Oh my god. Should I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure you're going to put this up.
Yeah, there'll be a video of it.
Oh my god. Abracadabra, you are now a decent human. I love it. And the giant penis is like, oh.
Like,
so
no.
Surprised.
Yeah. He's like, what do you mean?
I can't exist anymore. Just be a dick.
Also, wait, can we just
brilliant.
know that this is the same colour as the girls' logo?
Oh, thank you.
Put the detail in.
Oh my god. And
also,
I know that jumper.
Right?
I've worn that jumper. And are they Blundstones?
They are.
Oh my god, you know me so well.
Ah, I can't zoom in.
There you go.
There we go. I know you. Yeah, I gotcha. I showed it to Joe, and he was like, "Oh my god, it looks like her. It's her." I was like, "Yay, that was the
You're
intention."
amazing.
And then I thought,
multi-talented.
I've got like another one. I can make the penis anything. We can just change them all. So I've got like a blank one as well. But I was like, it's comedy.
Maybe it's one of those things where you leave it blank and people draw their own
Totally. I'm like, I'll send it to you and print it out, and then you can have people. Maybe it can be one of your marketing things. What does Emma mean by this?
Yes. So I'll just put it on the Instagram page and just see what people interpret first. And then they'll have to come and listen and figure it out. That's so funny.
So
any excuse to put a penis online.
Right, I know, it was just, I couldn't help it. It's like that, what's that movie, like, Easy? It was like, I'm addicted to drawing dicks.
Oh,
I'm not.
Superbad.
Superbad, that's the one.
My,
I was like,
I actually know someone who was.
Oh, really?
Like, he drew dicks on everything. My brother-in-law. My sister's partner.
Oh my god.
Honestly. And when I first met him, he literally took my diary and drew a dick on every page before I got it off him. I was like, you do not understand the boundary you've just crossed here. So.
Whoa. Was it in pen?
Yeah, he was the biggest arsehole, but he also doesn't have siblings. So I feel like he's given it out a lot in his life and never had it.
Never
evened it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Do you want? I had questions.
How entertaining! So much fun.
So much fun. It was really funny. I had to I googled a cartoon version.
You didn't model it off your boyfriend?
No, he's like,
that is hilarious.
He's like, please make sure they know it's not me. I was just like, yeah. Anyway.
Mate, if it's okay. It looks very smooth and attractive.
It's great.
It's giant, so...
It's a good size. It's as big as you.
I wouldn't be offended. If I was jacked, I wouldn't be like, ew. Why did you have to add that weird freckle I've got down there? Imagine.
It's his mouth. No,
Oh my god, yes. Penises are always fun.
But sorry, I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Amazing. You just made my day. It really was.
I really like drawing cartoons. I'll just make them all funny. Give me a superpower, I'll make it a funny thing.
Is someone going to draw you?
I don't know.
one
I would
episode?
like that.
Oh my God. When you get a visual artist on, you have to get them to draw you.
There's one guest who did draw me. Did a 5-second drawing. I have a photo of it.
Amazing. What is your superpower that you would want?
That I would want?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know, I'm a little bit torn. I have to think on it properly to decide which one, if I had to choose one, because I would love teleportation. Like,
yes.
That'd be great. But then also I'd like to fly, because then I can see this stuff.
Oh my God, flying.
Right? Like both. How can I choose between that?
Yeah, flying would be amazing.
They're like the main ones though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just like, then I can be effective and get places. Or I can fly
I would
up
want
and
to
get
be
inspired.
flying invisibly. So people don't realise you're a freak, and they don't do the whole, oh my God, she's the flying woman. And they start paparazziing you, you know? You just want to fly in peace.
Yeah,
you just want to get
I
up there whenever you feel like it.
What if we had like
Enjoy
an invisibility cloak?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Because sometimes I might be like, hey, I'm being bold. Look at me and my like sparkle top as I go. Like, it would be fun.
Imagine.
And the whole point, I see that I'm weird. It's fine.
Yes, you could fly over the world with something really political on your t-shirt and be like, fuck you, like an up yours finger or something.
That's right. And everyone's just like, what does
and
your
no
t-shirt
one knows,
say? She's so far
they
away.
Can't see it. It's
so
invisible.
high.
You're like, yeah, well, I flipped all of you off today.
And
so.
you don't. The final part of the podcast is the beautiful gift that I have requested all of my guests to give to all of the potential creators out there, all the creators who are stuck. And that is a piece of homework, something to take away and do.
Classic nerd move.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to listen to a podcast. No, you are getting homework.
You will do something. Do something.
Amazing. Yes, so the homework I've come up with, and this has helped me heaps, and I had it in my bullet. I've been journaling for ages, and I have it there all the time. Is 2 lists, and they stay the same. You can add to it, but it's better if they stay the same. And one list is feeders, and the other list is killers. And feeders is stuff like, for me, it's a long cup of tea break. Oh my God, that just brings me right back on to my game. When I'm like, I have half an hour and I'm not moving. I'm just going to sit and sip this tea until I get bored or whatever. So that could be something, or it could be something like Moulin Rouge, the movie, or it could be that photo of me and my friend in Paris, or, you know, like it can be anything that feeds you and your soul and makes you feel the most yourself and whatever. And then also a list of killers. Killers, for me, sitting more than 2 hours. Death. It could be not getting outside. Also, getting outside could be a feeder for you, going on a walk, or it could be also a killer, staying inside. Other examples would be something like talking to particular people.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
We've all got some of them. Oh, yeah.
Doom scrolling. Maybe, you know, we all have our very personal things, but to actually sit down and really analyse yourself and figure out maybe, let's say 10. You want 10 on each side. And killers, kill the soul, make you feel gross, you know, not creative, not anything. And then feeders, they make you feel great, they add calm, you feel creative, open, inflow, ready to go. Yeah.
I love it. So that gives you something to go, I feel inspired, let me progress it more. I feel uninspired.
I'm going to go to the feeders list.
And then also, what is it that I can be changing? Why am I getting killed?
Yeah, you might be like, oh, I feel really off. I haven't felt myself for ages. And you go to that list of killers and you go, oh, fuck, I've been inside all day. Oh, fuck, I've stared at a screen for more than 4 hours. Oh, fuck, you know, all those things. Oh, that's why, because I hung out with what's her name?
Yeah. I love it.
So don't judge yourself, you know. You go, oh, that was one of my killers. And I've been killing myself. No wonder I feel like this.
I love it. Okay, and then one last bit to that. Where do you keep this list?
I keep it in my bullet journal, so my diary planner.
Is it like at the front, or is it like what?
Yeah, sort of just where I know where it is.
Yep.
But yeah, you could put it anywhere. You could put it in your locker, at school, I don't know, at
just
work, wherever you like,
good.
in your car, stuck to something, I don't know. Whatever, wherever, it helps you.
I like it. That's beautiful.
It's my homework.
Beautiful homework.
Send them in. We want to see them.
Actually, please. Yeah. Please send them.
Because it would be amazing to see if people have similar things, killers and feeders. I really think we probably would.
I think we have to, because there's like human elements that we have to have. Like we have to touch the ground, we have to smell fresh air, we have to hug someone we care about.
Yes.
With, you know. Gotta eat good food, eat less sugar. Like, there's just these things that, you know.
Yeah.
So it'd be important. So yes, so please do send them through to the Instagram, which is at @your_weird.
You're weird.
You're weird.
You are.
That's why we're friends.
I think that was quite civilised.
Our conversation.
Yeah, I think we did well.
I know. Well, this is the first one.
We didn't go too crazy.
I mean, we will.
So.
As soon as I bring a topic to you and I'm like, and let's go.
Oh my God. Yes.
That's going to be fun. I'm excited for those episodes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Great.
Thank you for having me in your space.
Lovely.
And thank you for everything you're doing, creating. The Guild and you, my heart.
Mate.
It's beautiful.
It's a pleasure. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're an asset to the world. You bring so much value to people.
Nice.
And yeah, this podcast is really cool. Exciting. Stop. Too many compliments.
I'm so comfortable now.
Hey, both the cameras are still going.
They did it. We made it. Episode. We got there. Okay.
Done.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.